What up? Yo. How's it going, folks? How are we doing? Don't you even start, Steve. Man, they say a lot can happen in 24 hours. It absolutely can. But let's see what we've got in store for today. Everyone's day been good? I've had better days. I know I keep saying that, but life finds a way of making each day shitter than the next at the moment. So, but I'm happier. I'm online now, clearing my head, making me not think about stuff that I don't want to think about. So that's good. So I'm doing better now than I was 20 minutes ago. So that is good. But we do have quite a bit of a little bit of news to talk about today. There has been some stuff that actually did pop up from yesterday, from PlayStation to a bit of Final Fantasy news to the the gamers lawsuit that's floating about right now. It's interesting. Hey Sanchez, how's it going? But man, I cannot wait for Hellblade 2 to come out. That gonna be good. That gonna be good. Alright, let's I think we can get cracking. I think we can get cracking. I think we can get cracking, boys. If I can find where this thing turns off. I really should just create a media source for this. Alright. So, today, I found out that apparently we've got an Among Us TV show. How is this going to work? And Elijah Wood, Marvel, and The Last of Us actors are to cast. How is this going to work? Is it going to be like each episode one person gets chopped? I don't know. I just saw this and I thought, you know what? I'll check it out. Innersloth's animated Among Us TV show has unveiled part of its voice cast. Oh, it's animated. Okay, so it's not live action. Okay, so we've got... At least it's not live action. It is animated. The series, based on the immensely popular video game, is a joint production between Innersloth and CBS Studios. Infinity Train's Owen Dennis serves as creator and executor producer. I still don't know how this is going to be a video game, a TV series. So you got red is Randall Park, purple is Ashley Johnson, orange is Yvette Nicole Brown, green is Elijah Wood. Unpaid intern, happy to be here, happy to be there. Task, whatever they're told. Fun fact, gets paid in pizza. I don't know, man. Did anyone actually want this? Who asked for this? And this was published 43 minutes ago, so it's pretty new. But, yikes. Sounds sus. I mean, I suspect it's going to be 5 or 6 episodes, and I just don't see how it's going to work. We're going to know who the imposter is straight away, right? I mean, you'd expect to. And if it's following one character around, that immediately rules them out instantly. I mean, I'll check it out. I'm intrigued. I want to see how it can work. It's animated as well, so at least it's not live action, because live action could have been brutal. Live action could have been absolutely brutal. But the big topic of the day is this one. The class action gamers lawsuit isn't going away. Now, for those of you that don't know what the class action gamers lawsuit is, it is essentially a bunch of people who are paid by Sony, Sony lawyers, to basically go in and try and dismantle the Activision deal. That's it. That is their sole purpose. PDD addresses. This has been alive since the beginning of the FTC case. This has been going on for, years. They've lost, I think, 4 times now, but they keep coming back. And it looks like the class action lawyers and their well-known gamers lawsuit versus Microsoft and Activision Blizzard are not giving up. Gamers who are still challenging the merger say that a federal court in California must issue an order stopping further integration of the two companies after Microsoft laid off 1,900 people from the gaming company. According to them, Microsoft and Xbox are dismantling Activision Blizzard. They've lost 4 times now, and this is the 5th appeal that they're doing. And now they're changing the appeal by saying, hey, look, they've laid off 1,900 Activision staff, which it wasn't because some of them were Microsoft staff as well. And they're saying, if you don't stop this and divest the companies or split them up, reverse the decision, Activision won't exist anymore. No, they want to split Activision from Microsoft. That was the original. That's what it's all been about. You're part of the lawsuit? I knew it, you ponybot. Sony denies all involvement, but they did offer their lawyers for free to advise the gamers lawsuit and the other law firm that was taking it on board. This it's not gonna work. This isn't gonna work, Bold Alpha. It's a waste of time. It's just a way to keep Microsoft occupied in courts. I think this is all a ploy right now with the FTC and the gamers' lawsuit. This is all just a big, massive thing to just keep Microsoft away from the gaming sphere. For one, it's assumed Sony. They were the ones that offered their services for free at the beginning. Stuff I did as far as FTC goes didn't cost me anything. Well, like 5 minutes of my time. But yeah, I don't see this going anywhere. I mean, the last time this went to court, they went in, and the judges said, "Yeah, we haven't changed our mind. This is dismissed," and it kind of ended in like 5 minutes. It took longer for everyone to get sworn in than it did for them to dismiss the trial. And I thought that was quite funny. Wait, why isn't that working? I just noticed that's not working. Let's try that again. There you go. But yeah, it took longer for the actual people to get sworn in than it did for it to actually get dismissed. It was pretty insane how quickly it got thrown out. So I honestly don't expect anything from this. As you can see from here, they're saying it's ridiculous, and it is. It's just a stupid thing that just won't. They won't go away. But you know, it's not costing these gamers anything. It's a no-win, no-fee. And, you know, you have to wonder how these lawyers are getting bankrolled, losing every single time. They must have some big pockets behind them. Yeah, but Steve, this is a no-win chance. They're never going to win this. This is a waste of time. And they're not getting paid for it. There's literally no chance of them winning this. At all. Fantasarcher? Who knows? I don't think Hiroki knows. That much I can say. I mean, he must know, right? There must be some powers at play here. But whoever's bankrolling this, be it Sony or someone else, they are losing a lot of money because there's no. You don't lose 4 times and then come back again and try again. You're not going to win. And at the end of the day, Microsoft isn't the only people that laid staff off. Sony just laid a thousand people off, and they're trying to buy other studios still. Jay, it's all about the drama. All they want to do is cry and moan on social media. But this is just stupid. I mean, let's face it. Every Activision game is going to Sony anyway. So what's the point? What's the point of this whole lawsuit? COD is there. Overwatch is there. Diablo is there. You know, what is it? What game is it that they don't have that isn't there? It's absolutely stupid. And what's even more stupid is the fact that the lawyers are taking it on board. Cezanne, they have no defense. Jamala, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's just to keep them occupied. And to keep them in a ever-revolving door of lawyers. But these people, you know, these lawyers must be getting bankrolled from somewhere, right? Donald, pretty much. I mean, they're getting a much better deal now with Call of Duty than they were before. So, how's that? Before with Activision, they were getting 20%. Now they're getting 30%. So they're actually making 10% more money per sale now. So they're actually in a much better place now. They got a much better deal with Microsoft than they ever would have got with Activision. But, you know, for those people that are wondering what's happening with this, what it's about, what it is, it's just a bunch of gamers that want to split the merger. That's it. They want to divest it, revert the whole merger as if it didn't happen at all. So divest isn't even the correct word. Unlike the FTC, which is trying to divest the whole situation, these guys are trying to literally split the companies up. So Activision is its own company again. I guess you could say divest, but they don't want them being owned by Microsoft at all. But that boat has sailed a long time ago. Bobby has taken his money, bought another 4 yachts, and he's off. I mean, honestly, I thought it went away last time, Fantasarcher. I thought it went away last time because they had no, like I said, it took longer in their last case for everyone to get sworn in than it did for the judge to dismiss the case. Everyone got sworn in for like 5-10 minutes. And then they sat down and said, right, having read everything, the case is dismissed. And then they said, thank you very much for your time. And they left. Pretty much went along those lines. It was stupid. It kind of died within minutes. It wasn't even worth turning up. I mean, I'd be embarrassed if I was the lawyers defending this case. Oh, Lena Khan? Lena Khan is only doing what Biden is telling her to do. Lena Khan doesn't have a... Well, she doesn't like corporations, that's fine. But she's getting her mandate from Biden. Biden is saying to pursue it, she's pursuing it. It's really that simple. If your administration changes, that lawsuit goes away as well. Pretty much overnight. But yeah, exactly, BoldAlphawolf. Mark, we spoke about Among Us having a TV show which scared everyone, only to find out it's an animated TV show which still scared everyone, but not as much. And then we're talking about the gamers' lawsuit. You actually met someone who console warred in real life? You know, I've never met anyone that's console warred in real life. Outside of social media, I haven't seen anyone. You know, most people don't care. Most people be like, Move on, buddy. I mean, when you was a kid, you kind of went PlayStation is best, Sega's best, Nintendo's best. But then you grew through a few brain cells, and that was the end of that. Yeah, that's weird. There's another one in the US that does it as well, right? I don't get that. I don't get that at all, BoldAlphawolf. I don't get that at all. I mean, yeah, Jamala. I mean, put it this way: at some point, Microsoft is going to turn around and tell these people, this is now becoming harassment, and we're going to sue you for harassment. There's only so many times you can lose before Microsoft turns the tables, and when they do, and they sue the law, the actual gamers for harassment, no one, and I mean no one, is going to stand by them. Man, I heard they had Marcus Phoenix in a mankini. It was awful. Wait, is it Japan hates Xbox? That guy's a weirdo, man. I mean, we covered that in yesterday's stream, but Jim decided that he was gonna try. I mean, you could see it when he was stuttering, right? When the journalist actually asked him the hard questions, you could see it there that he didn't have a response. There are deals, and then there are deals. What was uh, offered isn't usually the deal signed. Like, what does that even mean? It's just a bunch of words. And then you've got Sean Layden, who talks about consolidation and is the enemy of creativity. And my dude works for Tencent. Like, make it make sense. How can you talk about consolidation being bad and you work for Tencent? I mean, the whole thing is just hypocritical. Yes, Susanoo. Sean Layden actually works for Tencent, and he's out here complaining that consolidation is the enemy of creativity. And my dude works for one of the biggest Chinese companies that is gobbling everyone up bit by bit. Exactly. And what's worse is he joined them just as they started their mad rush spree into buying everyone. Well, yeah, because isn't Tencent partly owned by the Chinese government? I think they own a controlling share, don't they? So it's it's a bit weird that he would come out and say that. And Phil Spencer, not Phil Spencer, Jim Ryan. He was so. I mean, wasn't he the one flying around Brussels and the UK and everywhere to try and get this deal blocked actively? So when did that become? We are really happy we finally sat down with Microsoft and arranged a 10-year deal. So why didn't you do that in the first place when they offered you to sit down and do a deal? Why was you flying to Brussels or to London or to the US and doing all sorts of things. Why didn't you have the audacity to turn up in court to live questioning, and you did it all on recorded time? The dude's a clown. He's literally a clown. So, you know, it's just so weird that he would come out and make those statements. But, you know, Jim is Jim, right? He's a bigger sleuth than Phil Spencer. Both of those, Sean Layden and Jim, have an even sharper silver tongue than Phil. Yet no one complains about that, do they? No one ever complains about that. Exactly, Bold. So when did it go from I don't want to make a deal, I want to block the merger, to I'm really happy we sat down with Microsoft and came to an agreement over a 10-year deal? So when did that change? That is one thing he actually did that's good, by the way, Mark, because he actually got them a good deal. He got them a better deal than Activision. It wasn't a lesser deal, it was a better deal. With Activision, Sony were getting 20%. With Microsoft, they are getting 30%. Hey, Power Boss, how's it going? So they're actually getting 10% more now with Microsoft. I wouldn't have given them that extra 10%. I would have given them 20% or maybe even 15%. We're just talking about the gamers lawsuit. And you missed the Among Us TV series. I don't know why Microsoft offered them 30%. That's just dumb. But it just goes to show that, you know, Microsoft always are playing way too nice. It wasn't the whole slate of games. There was a few. It had a very hard deadline. I think it was like 3 years. But even now, you know, any pre-existing game is gonna be on there. Diablo's gonna always be on there. It's not gonna ever be exclusive to a platform. Overwatch is gonna be everywhere. Call of Duty is always gonna be everywhere. The only games that will come, or if they even do come, that are gonna maybe go on there, maybe not, are the likes of Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, or maybe a Guitar Hero that's been teased. But how many years out are these games? 10, 15, 20 years? At the rate Microsoft is going with their development, everything is super slow. Yeah, they gave up too much. That's correct, Sappho. They gave up way too much with this deal. Like, honestly, at this point, the only reason that Microsoft still went ahead with this deal is King. That's it. Honestly, I don't even think they gave two shits about Activision anymore or Blizzard. They just didn't care. They just wanted King. They wanted that portal into the mobile market, someone that understands what they're doing, and they went in there. And I guess with Tencent doing the mobile Warzone, that gave them other avenues too. I think they should have backed off, Bold. I really think they should have backed off. I don't think they should have continued. I think it just wasn't worth the sacrifices that they made. the sacrifices to cloud, the sacrifices to Xbox. Don't forget, during that 2 years, Xbox gamers got jack shit. No showcase, no real first party games. We literally got F all. As they tried to show themselves weak and, third place. But the problem is, if you're doing that and you're constantly dropping down the pecking order while you're trying to show yourself weak, once you do succeed, that climb is going to be even harder because you've dug yourself in the trenches so damn low. COD will be fine for, I'd say, at least another 5-10 years. But all it needs, really, right, is a game like Helldivers to turn up that is a COD clone and be super successful. And that will destroy COD. All it needs is one game to go viral, and that's it. And that just made Activision's 69 billion valuation go down the toilet sink. It's really volatile. Bold, they're used to doing tough battles, but the consumers suffered. The consumers suffered, and that's the thing. Fortnite is a different game. It's a different genre. Now the question is Warzone bigger than Fortnite? Now that's what you compare with COD. Is Warzone bigger than Fortnite? Fortnite brings in much more revenue. So the answer is no. They won't do full exclusivity for COD. I mean, they could after... Well, no, they can't. But what they can do after 10 years is the parity clause is gone. So they can start doing like exclusive operators if they want to bring Master Chief into the game. Exclusive map packs for, play them first on Xbox for 6 weeks. Or, game modes that are exclusive to the Xbox version that don't exist on other versions. They can do all of that after the 10-year contract is over, not before. That's a good question. That's a good question, Bold. I would assume they can because they're going to have the marketing rights. And that's not affecting the actual game itself. And when the game launches, it will launch. But, so that'll only apply to the closed betas. The open betas, obviously, will be everywhere. No, COD is in its own territory. But Fortnite and COD is 2 different games. Nah, COD will be around for longer than 5 years. But that's basically the situation with this. Only for closed beta. Open beta, they have to be the same. Open beta, they need to be the same. Yep. For open beta, they'd probably have to be the same. But for closed beta, they could do it. Because that's a marketing deal. But they just gave too much away. Microsoft doesn't get 100% of the revenue. They get 70% of the revenue when it goes from coming from Sony. And they tried to do it 100% from Steam. That didn't work. So that went to 70% as well. So, yeah. Hey, Byron. Good evening, Chaos. And just asking, is the government really going to be looking into Xbox and Nintendo fanboys about the gaming industry? From what I've heard, not so much the Nintendo and Xbox fanboys. They're going to be looking into Sweet Baby Inc. That's what I've heard. And their callous ways of trying to threaten companies into submission. One of those areas where I might be relying too much on old laws. That's alright. You forgetting Call of Duty going to her Nintendo? Call of Duty will go to Nintendo, and Nintendo will get 30% as well. Oh, they're for Sweet Baby? I heard they were against Sweet Baby. I didn't read any articles of it. I just heard that they were thing. That's crazy if the government is trying to defend Sweet Baby. But again, the public is doing nothing wrong. But the gamers aren't doing Gamergate 2.0. It's Sweet Baby. I felt owning ABK could be similar reason to get Sega. The number of IPs they could own and revitalize could make an impact. The problem is, Fantas Archer, is Microsoft unfortunately just doesn't have a habit of bringing back IPs. Right? They just don't. When was the last Banjo-Kazooie game from Rare? Like, Rare has a rich catalogue of games. Where are those games? They've all disappeared. All they do is Sea of Thieves. You know, a lot of studios that used to make, you know, a wealth of games. And maybe that's partly due to, you know, the risk-reward factor of these games, as we saw with Ratchet and Clank. But it does seem like, you know, making a new Crash Bandicoot or a new Spyro, the risks are far greater than the reward. And so they opt to not make it. The US government can't buy the Constitution. Beef, I think. I don't know the US Constitution. Now, where is Byron? National security for the US is after Sweet Baby Inc. Yeah, that's maybe what I heard. Is that the journalists are writing it as a lie, but they're changing the words around like a real link? You've got the link. If you can send it to me via Discord. I don't think it will come through on the stream. Phil said he's open to licensing older IPs if studios want to work on them. He says a lot of things. A lot of people want to work on games, but they don't materialize. And as we saw with Halo, lots and lots of pitches went through. Some that sounded really amazing. Every single one got turned down. So, take that with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, you know, the CEOs will tell you what you want to hear. Not necessarily what you want to happen. Yeah, much like Sony. The risk is... The problem is, unlike with Sony, Microsoft can take a hit. They're a $1 trillion company. Sure, no one likes to waste money, but Microsoft is in a position where they can take risks. Sony are not. All it takes is one failed AAA game for them, and they are in severe trouble. Whereas for Microsoft, one failed game, they like Redfall, they just swallow the cost and move on. Right. We accept that dictation. It harms our partner nations, like Mexico also forces us to get involved with their domestic conflicts. Straight up no-go. Can't be allowed. What news bummed me out was the Time Splitters 4 news. Yeah, it's because people just don't believe that they will be successful. That's it. And honestly, I don't believe that Time Splitters 4 would have been successful. I I agree with the publishers. Unless they can make that game at an all-time low budget, there's just no way that that game in today's day and age, in today's gaming sphere, is going to be successful. It's just not. Back in the day when we used to game on like the Sega Dreamcast, the PS2 and stuff, gaming in general just used to be different, right? The games had a different vibe. Gamers used to just enjoy games for games. Multiplayer games used to be fun, not super competitive, and you used to play Conker's Bad Fur Day and go burn through everyone. But nowadays, Conker's Bad Fur Day would never, ever, ever sell. Microsoft gonna have over 50 million on mobile Warzone. They are gonna make a killing. Worry about cost to port Switch. Yeah, I mean Warzone is gonna make them a lot of money. I mean Call of Duty Mobile makes them like 10 million a day right now. 10 to 12 million a day. That's without Warzone. Can you imagine how much it's going to be with Warzone? I think if they brought back Legacy of Kain, it would do incredibly well. The problem is with Legacy of Kain is its legacy, right? It's in the name. If they don't do a good job and they mess it up in any way, shape, or form, they will tarnish that legacy, and they are scared to hurt that game. Me too, Woodpit. Me too. That was a great console. The Power Stones was awesome. But do you think Power Stones would be successful today? It was great back in the Dreamcast days. But do you think Power Stone today would be successful? If they released the Power Stone 3 on consoles? Do you think it would be successful? I don't. Because I just don't think gamers are in that era of style of gaming anymore. These older gamers screaming about graphics and fidelity is what's hurting the industry. It is, Sepho. It is. At the end of the day, everyone wants these super photorealistic graphics, and that affects the game in terms of what they can do. Now, for certain games, it works, right? But not every game has to be like that. Not every game has to have that photorealistic visual fidelity. There's nothing wrong with turning it down a bit and having something that looks really nice, that doesn't need to be photorealistic, but can also push 60 to 120 FPS. There's nothing wrong with that. I got Gmail. Pretty much, it's on my YouTube channel, but I'll post it here. Those pixel side scrollers do well, and they're cheap. If they released at $40, they wouldn't do well. They're cheap. But everyone goes for something that everyone wants to see, that really cool looking graphics now. And if it doesn't have that cool looking graphics, the game's trash. And they won't buy it. And they push it aside. And yet, then you've got games like Palworld, which absolutely took the world by storm. You got games like Helldivers 2, which doesn't look, graphically impressive at all, doing better than most games out there. It's becoming one of Sony's most popular games with 8 million units sold. Graphics isn't everything, but people want graphics. They want that realism. They don't want an artistic deviation of a video game. And it's sad. And it's crippling creativity. That's what's crippling creativity, not consolidation. That's what's crippling it. Mahayanist, I agree. It's not the older gamers, it's the newer generation. But look at it. Look at Indiana Jones. When I saw that, I looked at it and I thought, you know what? This looks really good. I'm really happy with the little bit of gameplay that I saw. I'm really excited for it. You saw a bunch of people on social media. This game looks graphically trash. The game is trash. The game looks like a PS3 game or a PS2 game. I mean, they clearly don't remember what the PS2 looked like or the PS3, but the first thing people look at in a video game is the graphics. And so that stifles creativity. I mean, I was having a discussion with someone earlier today, and they didn't understand anything I was saying, right? Let me show you. I was turning around and telling them that Helldivers 2 isn't that popular outside of Europe. I mean, outside of the US, sorry. Can I click on that? No. Let me click on this. So, this is based on my local time. As you can see, at bang midday on my local time, there's like no one playing. No one playing. It's only, once we get to like midnight that it actually starts to get good. So the US is carrying this game quite hard, right? There's no denying that. When you're looking at the early dips, it drops quite low. Like this one dropped down to 74,000. And look, the Commodore 64 was a great machine. There are some people out there that are saying Helldivers 2 is pay to win. Look, that pay to win argument for Helldivers, it's a complicated one. Right? Because I can pay right now and get an advantage over you. There are certain items that come in the store, on the rotating store, I can pay and get. Now, you can earn that currency, and that's fine. But my wallet is faster than your earning. And so that gives me an edge. And if that gives me an edge in getting better stats, better kills, that's what pay to win is. If we're looking at Warframe, you don't ever have to pay for a single penny of platinum. You can go and grind as much platinum as you want. You can sell items in exchange for platinum. But Warframe is regarded pay to win. Not in the other shop. You're talking about the Battle Pass. There is another store that allows you to buy stuff freely. And that rotates, either it's every hour or every day. I don't know what the rotation is. I haven't played it enough. But that store rotates and you can buy stuff in that store for real money. And the problem is there are stats on that stuff. And if anything comes into that store that's got amazing stuff that you can actually pick up, then me having the if you don't have the currency and it's rotating in a day, I can just flex the plastic and I can buy it there and then. I've immediately got an advantage over you. That is where they're saying the pay to win is. Thanks, Moonlight. I'll have a look. Now, do I think Helldivers is pay to win? Not really. I think it's well within the realm of, except, I mean, in its brutal definition, maybe. But at the end of the day, I just don't see it. Did you send it? Did I put the right email address down? Because I'm not seeing it. Let me just double check the email I gave you, because that would be really, really dumb if I gave you the wrong email address. No, that was the right email address. So why isn't it coming through? Where could it have gone? Huh. It hasn't come through yet. You want to check and see if it's not stuck in your outbox? It's not in my spam or anywhere. Nope, it's nowhere. Yeah, that's crazy. If you can send it again, or maybe if you post it in chat, remove the HTTPS, remove the www. And just post it like that and see if it comes through. I'm sure there are ways to... I've checked spam, Steve. It's not there. But moving on. This is actually really big news, by the way, chat. This is huge. So for those of you that are looking to play Final Fantasy XIV, if you remember, I said that there is, the biggest issue with this is that I'm on an EU server. So if you want to play with me, you need to be on the EU server, right? I know there's a bunch of you that are from the US, and I recommend you play on the US server. You do not want a delayed ping in this game. It makes for a horrible experience. And lo and behold, in time for, the new expansion, Dawn Trail, from Monday, the 25th of March at 3 a.m. GMT, until the beginning of patch 7.0, which is the Dawn Trail expansion. They are going to allow cross-region travel as a test to see how it works. And if they can stabilize it during that time, they're going to keep it. So this means people from the Japanese data center can go to Oceania, North American can go to Oceania data center, European can go to Oceania. Oceanian, however you pronounce that. Characters with a homeworld in Oceanian data center will be unable to travel to a different physical data center. So the Oceanian data center will be like the central hub that we can all go to and kind of converge and play the game together. I guess these data centers aren't utilized enough, so it makes the most sense. The ping obviously is going to be horrendous for everyone because we're all kind of going there from different regions. But what this means is that we can game no matter what server you're on. We can all just go to that data center and play. This is on the live servers, BoldAlpha. This is going to be on the actual live servers. This isn't like a restricted test. This is gung-ho. So that's actually really cool. So the way you actually do it, Susano, before you log into the game, you'll have the option to select your... At the moment, you've got the option to select servers. But you can jump between the different servers on your data center. Now what they're going to give you the option is when you log in, is give you a data center option. And you can go and then basically load your character into that data center. And that will allow you to transfer your base character and all its settings into the other data center. Now, what won't transfer over to the other area is like your housing and stuff like that, or your items in your storage. Stuff like that won't go. But your character and all your inventory will go. So it's really cool. Please note that although characters will be able to return to their homeworld from the Ocean Data Center, even after the test has concluded, their ability to return may be temporarily impeded by periods of server congestion, including any that may arise during the release of Downfall. Please note that your lodestone character will not, your data will not account for friend list, blacklist, and cross-world link shell registrations made while visiting other physical data centers. So any link shells that you have, like clans, guilds, groups, none of that will be usable once you go across. It won't break, you won't lose it, they'll just be disabled. Additionally, you cannot join Community Finder recruitments, which makes sense, for cross-world link shells on other physical data centers. So basically, the only thing you can really do is go to this data center, play with your friends. If their market board is cheap, you can raid their market board and buy all their stuff and come back and sell it at a more expensive price. But I think this is really damn cool. I think that is really damn cool. And we were just talking about this the other day, and they made the announcement, and I was like, that's got to be it. All right, there we go. Let's see. That did not work. I'm guessing it's this one over here. So let's push this here, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this now means that there's no barriers to us, you know, if anyone wants to play the game for us to be able to game together outside of obviously the ping. The ping could be bad. All right, so that's this done as well. Next, we're looking at this that was sent to me. That dark park place. U.S. government-funded organization Take This encourages game developers to denounce gamers who are being harassed by Sweet Baby Inc. Encourage game developers to denounce gamers. Right. The organized harassment and cancel campaign against video gamers by Sweet Baby Inc. has taken a dark turn as the US government-funded organization Take This has called on game developers to attack their own customers for standing up to harassment. So it's not a mandate, but they're basically trying to side with... yeah, that's just stupid. Let's see. Which game company is going to turn around and say, I don't like money? We saw Insomniac Games and a Middle East version of Spider-Man 2. Do you think they released a full Pride version of Spider-Man 2 in the Middle East? Or do you think they removed all of that stuff because they like money? Give me money. So, yeah, this is stupid. Yeah, no, this is just stupid. Take This, which is run by Dr. Rachel Cowart, instructs developers to denounce gamers for defending themselves from Sweet Baby Inc. You want developers who like money to tell their customers, don't buy our games. That's what they're saying, right? Add me as a friend on Google so you're not getting... Moonlight, drop me... This is my Twitter. If you've got Twitter. Drop me a DM with the details and I'll add you. I don't want you publicly posting it here. What's the point of Sweet Baby? Why hire them to change your game? The purpose of Sweet Baby Inc. is actually a good one, right? The actual concept of what they are designed to do is good. The problem is, everyone in there is an activist. And that's why it's bad. If it was actually run by sane people who aren't crazy or damn right goddamn ludicrous, it actually would be okay. But they're run by crazies who are activists, who are extremists, who want anyone that's not an ethnic minority to go jump off, I don't know, Brooklyn Bridge or something. I mean, these are the type of people where if they had the capability to manipulate the strain of COVID to attack a certain gene of people, they would do it. That's how crazy these people are. Yeah, we're entering Metal Gear, territory now with genome soldiers and shit. Moonlight. Wait, you actually... Oh, did you send it to me? You did not? Why am I not seeing your email? Moonlight. I see Alex has that tool where you click on someone's name and it instantly pops up with all of their messages. I really need that tool because I don't goddamn. Oh, is it this one here? Okay, I do have it. Let's see. You haven't sent me anything. No email address. It's just a standard YouTube feature. Something you learn every day. First Organization's blog post states, if you're reading this, you've already been hearing about what's now being called Gamergate 2. It's the largest targeted harassment campaign within the game industry, and it's aimed at Sweet Baby Inc. Well, Sweet Baby Inc. started it first by targeting the curator of the Steam group and trying to get his whole account, or her, I don't know if it's a he or she, but trying to get their whole account banned. That's nasty, right? People have hundreds and hundreds of games on there that they paid for. And trying to get that banned, that's nasty. That's going to have a big backlash. This is an outright lie. It is Sweet Baby Inc. that is running a targeted harassment campaign. Employees Chris Kindred, yeah, this one is one of the worst. And Maya Kramer launched their harassment campaign at the end of February following Brazilian gamer Cabritus Rambo creating a Steam curator listing of all of the games that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on that are available on Steam and not recommending them. Kindred made it clear that she and Sweet Baby Inc. wanted the Steam curator list shut down, as well as this is the point that was bad, right? Cabritus Rambo's entire account removed. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, Dubs. Kindred posted on X the Steam curator harassment group Sweet Baby Inc. detected is led by this person. Here's them trying to be slick so they don't get reported. Even with discriminatory language filed off, the group itself still fails the code of conduct. And that doesn't allow me to zoom in. How are you even supposed to see that? The at Steam curator harassment group Sweet Baby Inc. detected is led by this person. Here's them trying to be slick so they don't get reported. Even a discriminatory language filed off, the group itself still fails the code of conduct. It does not. Next, Kindred wrote, anyway, report the out of this group. Finally, Kindred concluded and report the creator since he loves his account so much. See, that's where you draw the. That's where she crossed the line, or he crossed the line. I don't really know what they are, but that's where they crossed the line. Everything else up until this point is fair game. They can appeal against it. They can try and get it removed. It's within their right. But the moment you did this, that's where you fucked up. That right there is where you fucked up. And that's when you're going to have all the gamers turning against you. At least the PC ones, because they love their Steam catalog more than anything else. And if Steam removes this person's catalog, that sets a nasty precedent, right, folks? Right, folks? That sets a nasty precedent. Hey, Dubs. I can't wait to see what SBI thinks of Stellar Blade. Mate, Stellar Arse Cheeks is amazing. But hey, Stellar Blade developers are for sale, right? They went public. So wouldn't it be funny if Microsoft went and bought them? If I was Microsoft and I cared about mobile, I'd buy them. I'd buy them in a heartbeat. Nikkei doesn't make Genshin Impact money, but it still makes like 30, 40 million a month globally. That's good money, man. They make over 400 million in under 12 months. She wrote, sorry, no one thing has changed the number of people who understand that spreading misinformation just lets them be racist in public with no consequence has increased dramatically. That has changed probably requires some fighting from those. The problem with that is This person here is the biggest racist of them all. You know, saying that all the Jews should be killed. That's crazy, right? Like what the like crits. Next, she made it clear she wants those with authority to go after the Steam curator list. She wrote, for example, Steam doesn't have guidelines for curators. As far as I can tell, that would prevent someone from starting a curator group that focuses on, say, Sweet Baby Inc. But you can make a curator that focuses on Capcom and everyone else. It's fair game. You can't do that. They're being stupid. 67 teraflops would definitely cost way 380. It's not 67 teraflops. These tactics are not unheard of for Sweet Baby Inc. The company CEO Kim Belair shared how she encouraged individuals to use fear and cancel mobs to influence game developers. Yeah, she turned around and said, for those that are against us working with you, instill them with the fear of death. Make them fear their jobs, their lives, and make them come round. Like, that's not how you do business, right? Belair said in 2019 during a presentation in the group, if you're creative working in AAA, which I did for many years, put this stuff to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value and what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Like, who the fuck are you? If I turned around to my boss and said, buddy, if you don't do this, I'm just going to fire you. I take back everything I just said. Because they have to consider, I say that out loud as a joke, but it's actually very, very true, because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing, and you have to deal with mitigating harm with keeping the sentiment around their game and their project positive, there's like a genuine value that you could impress upon them both, ethically and financially. You could say, this is important, she said. So, from terrifying them, she redressed that. That's actually important context. Belair elaborated, it's also a valid discussion to have, because if you're working with a thin narrative budget and you work in AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed by the amount of money that marketing can give you. Marketing gives you nothing. They want it all for themselves. Despite this overwhelming evidence that Sweet Baby Inc. is the one leading a harassment campaign that is trying to steal this dude's game by having his Steam account shut down, which is the biggest issue. They just shouldn't have done that. They're so stupid. Take this instructs video game developers. You may be inclined to be quiet or cautious, but that's actually not helpful. As noted in our resource, Empowering the Game Industry, a major lesson learned from Gamergate was the importance of taking a loud public stance. And that usually means you don't sell your games. And companies don't like that. I can assure you that companies like to make money. You know what's more annoying than SBI? Losing your vapes. Thankfully, I can get fired. My boss would just have to me sleep on the couch or in a doghouse if I piss her off. I buy something because I like the product. I don't buy it because you tell me if I don't, I will suffer consequences. Exactly. While yes, it's an issue focusing on the guy's account, the big issue is the company is full of radicals. I get it, Steve. But what triggered the community more is the fact that they tried to get the guy's account banned. Because that would set a really high precedence for this to happen again. And that would mean that no one could ever speak out against them if they have a Steam account. Because their Steam account would be gone. If they used it in any way, shape, or form. It sets a precedent. And no one, it's good that people reacted to that. You don't want that to be set as as a mandate. D-Back saying 30 plus flops Ruben. Yeah. I mean, I've heard stuff, not going into it, but I can tell you it's not 76. The organization continues. At the time, many studios were hesitant to address the hate and abuse from Gamergate in any meaningful way. The reasons varied, but usually this hesitation was born out of fear of losing profits or concern that taking a stance would attract the attention of the Gamergate mob. Like, this is a long article. It then asserts, in other words, failure to clearly and unequivocally denounce Gamergate and the harassment and abuse done in its name created a space for that hate and abuse to flourish and spread and become normalized. See, I don't agree with that at all. Hate, harassment, and toxic behavior have no place in games. Yeah, I agree. By taking direct targeted action in a timely manner, we can mitigate further harm to talented, dedicated folks in games and help prevent additional recurrences of these harmful events. But who's being toxic towards developers? I mean, yeah, you've got the extremists who send dick pics to Santa Monica because they wanted the release date for God of War, but who generally does that? It's few and far between. They are for sale, Nordstar. They either want a partnership or to be bought out because they don't know what to do with their money. This is called projection. They're accusing their victims of what they are actually doing in order to position themselves as victims. This is clearly being done to not only garner support for their own cause, but to use it as a bludgeon to attack their opponents and do actual financial harm to them. In this case, through the theft of Cabrutus's Rambo's games. But yeah, this just goes on. I mean, it's crazy. But you know, there's no way that this can stand to continue. Like, I think with this character, even Jeffy said that this character just appeared out of nowhere. And said that this character felt out of place in the game. Didn't feel like she fit in and was shoehorned in. So, hey, Quackers. Click on the video. Is on here. What video? My God, it is hot in this room. This one? Dude, that's an hour. Is there another video? I'm not going to sit down and watch a video for an hour. You got a timestamp? Or is it this one?
Requested them very, very early. If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Because they have to consider, like, I say that all out as a joke, but it's actually very, very true, because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing and who have to deal with mitigating harm and with keeping the sentiment around their game and their project positive, there's like a genuine value that you can impress upon them with both ethically and financially. You could say this is important. And it's also a valid discussion to have, because if you're working with a very thin narrative budget and you work in AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed by the amount of money that marketing can give you. If you're not in AAA, and if you're indie or if you're freelance and you're building a budget because you still have to and you're writing up a pitch, I would say that you should consider adding the necessary funds for representation into your scope as you would any other item. When we budget as Sweet Baby Inc., we actually add about 10% of our entire narrative development budget to hire storytellers and collaborators who can kind of help us see where our blind spots are. And if they aren't in this industry, because a lot of the time people are like, uh-oh, they're not in this industry, we can actually bring them in to help as consultants for areas where, like, you know, they can start learning, we can help them learn, they can help us learn. So even if it's just a small part of a project, all parties are going to gain something, and you're going to get a perspective you really need. Next, if you're in communications or you're part of that like scared marketing group, assume your players want new stories and treat representation as a facet of innovation, as a selling point. Leverage your game's ability to explore new perspectives.
See, I agree and disagree with that at the same time, right? If it makes contextual sense to the game, then yes. But if it doesn't make contextual sense to the game, then no. Shoehorning something in just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. You know, to me, it actually hurts what you're trying to do. Do it in a contextual and natural way. Don't try to put a circle into a square. It's not going to, or is it the other way around? A square into a circle. It's not going to fit. Right? Wait, Alpha, which one is your waifu?
And there's always going to be a positive impact in assuming this.
I knew you was
Finally,
a Gears fan,
if you're a
Alpha.
studio building a team, hire diverse creators and pay them. Please pay them. And don't stop there either. Don't just go into creatives and with, you know, narrative and stuff. Make it across your team, because there are a lot of unconscious biases in other areas. But always consider the ways that you can support all of your people. So like, don't just put, we need diverse input. Explain how you're going to support them once they're there. Because none of what we're doing is about ticking boxes or about a veneer of wokeness. We actually have to care about making this stuff. So to close, for those of you who are marginalized, whatever space you occupy in this industry, and I want you to know that I see you and I recognize you and I'm doing the work along with you. And if I can suggest to you one thing, is that you take kind of a moment to think about times when you have felt seen and representative and share them as loudly as you possibly can.
Hey,
be loud about it. Don't be afraid to ask for more of this and what you've felt and seen already. Because we have to make sure that our tech and our mechanics and our teams and representation are equal parts of our entire project, right? Inclusion and representation are tools for creation and will shape the final product. And for those of you who kind of represent that dominant voice, I want to invite you to be brave and to be empathetic and to open yourselves and your teams to the voices that you haven't heard enough. Because if you do, I think you'll be genuinely amazed by the stories and the new directions that you'll be able to explore together. And you're going to be inviting people into this feeling of representation and empowerment that you have been very lucky to enjoy your whole life. Because I think at the end of the day, what we have to say is that video games are fun, and if we work hard enough, we can actually make them fun for everyone.
Look, I think I can speak for everyone when I say everyone gonna be enjoying Stellar Booty. Even if it is for all the right reasons, you're still gonna be enjoying it. What kids? Why kids in the same sentence? I think my only real concern here is that one of the many reasons most companies refuse to work with the US government. I mean, what she says on paper works. You find it's funny, somebody I knew at school who wouldn't play GTA San Andreas because of the main character's color. We flamed him so hard it was funny, good times, and no one else cared. Pretty much. People like at Steve will also enjoy waifu games. It's spreading! I am succeeding. But on paper what she says is true. But there are still people who don't want to be in the limelight. They just want to be told what to do and do it. You know, they don't care. They just want to do their job and move on. Now, back when we actually had like 250, 300 people in my workplace, you know, one of the things that we actually excelled at is listening to everyone. if we would, in a creative meeting, everyone would have an input. We wouldn't specifically go and make sure that just because your skin color was this, you would have a bigger voice, or if you had this, you'd have a higher weight in what you're saying. What she's saying is the complete opposite of what she's trying to do. What she's trying to say here is create another imbalance the other way. Instead of creating a balance where everyone's voice is level, she's saying no, the marginalized should have a greater voice. And that's just stupid. That's not how this works. It just isn't. And that just makes things more difficult. Although I have to admit, DEI training is the worst. If any of you have actually done that in your jobs, it's the worst. And I don't just say that because it's boring. I say that because anyone with a common sense is going to turn around and answer correctly, even if they don't feel it. We have a problem, Jamala. Communism works on paper. It's the reality that is the problem. Yeah. If I was still working, well, wouldn't even know about any of this. Sweet Baby Crap Knee shut down immediately. It's getting old. I'll give it that. It's getting old. People at work don't have time to bother with it. Mate, I remember when we used to be really busy. Where we were like we work an 8-hour day, right? With an hour lunch break added on top. But we used to have like 13 hours a day. Do you think we had any time to think? People need training in it because there are some really nasty people out there. And what the whole purpose of that training is to identify those that are really, really against any form of DEI. And so they can bring those people in and try to show them where they're going wrong. And if they don't agree with the company policies, the door will be there, whether you like it or not. Like for me, for example, right? Where I work, we have to put pronouns into our emails. It's a company requirement that we actually put pronouns. He, him, they, them, she, her, whatever. I haven't. And you'll see on my Twitter bio, I haven't. I refuse to. I just don't, if it's your right to be able to identify as a he, him, or a they, them, that's fine. But it's also my right not to get involved with what I think is silly behavior. Right? And I think that's where the world has kind of gone wrong. It's okay, it applies perfectly fine and works when it's in, their favor. But when I don't want to conform to that, I will refer to you as he, him, or she, her, but don't force me to put that into my bio. I don't believe in it. I don't agree with it. I've got, that's my personal opinion. I'm still going to respect yours, but I want you to respect mine. And that's where it doesn't work. Because they don't respect your opinion. They just want you to respect their opinion. And I think Piers Morgan said it best when he was interviewing this non-binary person. When he said, if you want to be identified as a non-binary person, then I have a right to be identified as a two-spirited penguin. And so the non-binary person said, no, you don't have that right. And he said, why? If I identify as a two-spirited penguin, that is my right. You have to respect that. And they wouldn't respect the fact that he wanted to be a two-spirited penguin. So it only works one way, and that's where this whole thing collapses. Sully, that's the other thing. People should be hired on the merit of how good they are. Right? That should be the primary force. if you are really good at your job, then you'll get your job, regardless of what race, skin color you are. It's stupid, and I don't agree with it. Seriously, I'm missing a large part of my brain. I'm not going to remember people's made-up pronouns. I'm good at my job. Lil Wayne's white neighbor saved his life when he accidentally shot himself in the chest. Oh, damn. That went dark real quick. But, yeah. Like, it's dumb. So, with SBI out the way, because that was a big topic. Big topic. We come to Ryan McCaffrey. Okay, Woodpit, that's good. That's good. I like it. I like it. That's good. That's good. I like it. I'm going to use that. Because when you're losing contracts because you're messing up jobs because you don't have the qualified people, what happens then? No, I agree. I agree. There's a new interview from Alyssa Mark that Fritz is watching right now. If it's not too long, send it to me and we'll plug it in. But guys, Halo 2's original Xbox Live multiplayer servers are coming back online today. If the Insignia Live folks are able to build up a big enough player base to fill up the matchmaking hoppers and make it a quick, painless to get a game, then they'll have achieved time travel, making OG Halo 2 multiplayer live again. Halo 2's original Xbox Live multiplayer servers are coming back online today thanks to Fan Project. And it looks like Insignia are doing it. And for those of you that love the Halo 2 multiplayer, you are going to be happy for this. The public beta will include 10 multiplayer matchmaking playlists, which you can check below. Rumble, Double Team, Slayer, Skirmish, Training, Snipers, Hardcore, SWAT, Big Team Battle, and H2 Challenge. The announcement even caught the eye of Max Hoberman, a former employee at Bungie who designed many multiplayer features in Halo 2 and Halo 3, all for aspiring time travelers. Very cool. I'm curious how much functionality they'll be able to replicate. Hoberman wrote on X Twitter, if they can reach feature parity in places, I wonder if they might enhance or add features in line with my original design specs. That's kind of cool, right? So I think this could actually be really damn cool. So Halo 2 will launch on Insignia, whatever that is, in public beta on March 15th at 8 GMT, 4 EST, 1 PST, with the following 10 multiplayer lists. Please ensure your console is set up and you've signed up for your gamer tag. See you soon. I'm not really trying to change people's minds. It's not my problem what they think. Just don't tell me what to think. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Right, can someone explain how this works? And how I can play? How to set up Insignia on a stock original... Oh, shit. This is on an original Xbox.
Systems. So
ain't no one doing this.
Drive and try it out. So that means you quite literally just open.
Do you know what? I'm gonna just link this in the chat for anyone that is interested. I thought this was just gonna be like something you install on your PC or shit, but this requires the original stock Xbox. Hell no. That's good luck with that, boys. That's a 30-minute tutorial. Nah, I'm not doing this. I like Halo 2 multiplayer, you know, but not that much. All right. So this is kind of cool. A powerful evil pal has appeared and is laying siege to the Palpagos Islands. Only the most skilled pal tamers stand a chance against her. That means me, by the way, with my like 10 hours of gameplay, which is much more than any of you. Palworld's first raid, Bellenoir, is coming soon. Let me see if I can do something real quick. But yeah, it looks cool, right? Hey, look. Tried to make it a waifu, Steve. Why are you gonna slap a waifu? But this leads on to the next point. Palworld Dev says profits are too big for a studio with our size to handle. Yeah, what, mate? The boss of Palworld developer Pocket Pair said the hits game costs less than 6.7 million to make and has generated massive profits that the small studio, currently 55 people, can't handle. What do you mean you can't handle the profits? You become Scrooge McDuck and start swimming in it. What's wrong with that? Scrooge McDuck will say, "Let me swim." Don't you know it, Jamala? Don't you know it? Just so more people. I'll take some off their hats. I know, right, Ventura? What's this actually saying? The boss of Palworld Development said the company can't handle the massive profits the game has generated. Palworld launched in January and overnight became one of the biggest games in the world, setting records not only on Steam, but on Xbox Game Pass, where it is the biggest third-party game launch ever. So far, the $30 Pokemon with guns, crafting, and survival game has seen an incredible 25 million players, with 15 million copies sold on Steam and 10 million players on Xbox. I wonder how many of that was actually sales, though. That would be... I just don't get why they don't reveal the sales numbers. I mean, they must be really bad if they don't. Speaking in an interview with Bloomberg, Pocket Pair boss Takuro Mizobi confirmed Palworld cost less than 1 billion yen. That's less than 6.7 million to make, and has made tens of billions of yen in profit. For context, 10 billion is around 67.2 million. So it made a lot of profit. Nintendo lawyers rubbing their hands. Nintendo ain't gonna do shit. These are real developers just figuring it out as they do it. Pretty much. But while they're figuring it out, I did not butcher his name. Where's his name? Takuro Mizobe. I did not butcher his name. But look, if they're struggling with money, I could use some money to go buy a house. I'm just saying, you know, I'm willing to help them, you know, alleviate some of their problem. I'm just putting it out there that if they are really struggling and don't know what to do with it, I'll take some of it. You know, I'll take one for the team. and I'll take some of it off their hands. It's nearly as good as me saying Sony's CEO, he talking me cocky. If they want, they can pay me to play Palworld. $40 USD per hour, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I'll stream it. The Japanese people are going to freak out more if your Japanese is good. Susano, didn't I pronounce that correctly? Close enough. I mean, it's phonetic, right? Takuro. Mizobe. Unless it's got extra Japanese characters that I can't see, but based on this, you pronounce it you read it as 2 characters at a time. It's an amount that is too big for a studio with our size to handle, said Mizobe, who later clarified he has no intention of expanding or offering shares in the company. Rather, he wants Pocket Pair to remain small. It's currently 55 people. Mizobe said he is open to a partnership or acquisition. See, Microsoft should be moving in on this shit right now. Oh, I know that there's regional dialects. I 100% know that there's regional dialects. Hiroki is definitely running the thing. Is running the show at Sony right now. What is this at the moment? Did you see that crazy movie I showed you earlier, Not Escape from LA, the other one? I did not, Leafstorm. I've been sleeping most of today. Had some shocking news that happened, so I spent most of my day sleeping, unfortunately. So I might have missed a few things. Some are free characters, but it's hard to tell once it's been Romanized. Yeah. That's why I was asking, is there any additional characters? Because you can have it so, it's kind of like got a tiny little pause in between. It's got a little bit of extension. So because I can read for the most part hiragana and katakana. I can also read about, I used to be able to read about 300 kanji, 400 kanji, but that's probably gone down to about 10 or 15 now because I just haven't practiced it at all. So it's I've gotten a bit rusty, but I could probably read this easier if it was in Japanese. But then again, to read a newspaper in Japan, you need you need to be able to read about 2,000 kanji. Shuhei Yoshida. Anyway, but this acquisition part, I think Microsoft should move in. Microsoft should move in and buy it. I damn well did learn from the waifus, Woodpit. I damn did. And from college, because I went to evening college to learn how to read and write Japanese. So not everyone in Japan even knows what they mean. But insisted he has not started buyout talks with Microsoft. But they should. Microsoft should be there. Make this shit nailed down. It's a big earner for them. They lost out on Genshin Impact. They should definitely capitalize on this. Perhaps more pressing, Pocket Pair is in talks to bring Palworld to more platforms, suggesting a potential PS5 and Nintendo console release in the future. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying Microsoft should buy them and then port the game to PlayStation and Nintendo. Nintendo's never going to allow this game. Ever. But a lot of Xbox fans are saying for Microsoft to buy and then port it to PlayStation to make more money. Is there even any microtransactions in this game? not that I remembered. So, how does Microsoft hope to, like, whoever's buying them? How do they hope to continue making money? And you know, even if it was just skins that they were adding, it could still be cool. But then that just limits the amount of money that you can make, right? It's kind of like a one-hit wonder. Once you've put it on a platform, that's it. It's done, and you can't sell anymore. It hits saturation. Nude mods? But the DLCs are free, right? Everything in this game is free. Nothing is paid for. Everything in this game is free. While Palworld is one of the biggest game launches ever, it's also one of the most controversial. Pocket Pair has said its staff has received death threats amid Pokemon rip-off claims, which it has denied. Soon after launch, Nintendo moved quickly to remove an eye-catching Pokemon mod. That was a great mod. Then the Pokemon Company issued a statement saying, "We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to Pokemon," and nothing really came of it, and it disappeared. If you're playing, be sure to check out IGN's No You Shouldn't, or you can create No. Palworld is down to $26.99 in the Steam Spring Sale. So who's bought what in the Steam Spring Sale? But this is a good segue into the magical PS5 Pro that people think is going to be more powerful than my 3090 Ti. PC and Xbox, can they crossplay now? Because last I saw, they were on the same version now. Bought way too much to be listing. Hey, Susanna, you should start gifting me stuff too. That's what you need to do, buddy. You need to start gifting me games. That's what you need to do, buddy. Yeah, that's why instead of you like repeatedly buying games that you've already beaten, you should just gift them to me. Sony Unicorn SSD about to be 67 teraflops as well. So 45% more raw performance. I'm only joking, Susanna. Don't take it seriously. 45%. See, what I'm scared of, right, is if I put my Steam tag down, as Power Boss will tell you, if any of you have been into Alex's streams, he gets gifted the weirdest games that should never, ever, ever be gifted. Like, it's just wrong, right? It's wrong. Then just mail me one every once in a while. All the H games, pretty much, Rick. Look at what Diablo's saying. He gets gifted like crazy. There we go. There we go. See, it's already starting. Leaf Storm Blaze is already starting. Memoirs of a Battle Brothel. Like, what? This is versus the regular PS5. 45% more raw performance to increase frame rates. That really tells you nothing. 67 teraflops, over triple the teraflops performance. Right. 2 to 3 times faster ray tracing. Includes PlayStation's Spectral Super Resolution, PSSR. Machine learning tech. Has dynamic input resolution. Resolution can change on the fly to improve frame rate, but will still upscale to proper resolution. Should look better than TAAU and FSR2, but I guess not DLSS 3.5. Of course, take it with a grain of salt. The console is expected at the end of the year. Now, this is all coming from this document. It's not the best document, mind you, that's popped up. This one says 33.5 teraflops instead of the 67 teraflops. 2 to 4 times ray tracing. This one was 2 to 3 times ray tracing. 45% faster than the base, so that remained consistent. This one has an AI accelerator at 300 tops with 8-bit computation. It's I mean, when it costs like $1,500, what are they gonna do? It's just not. I mean, what's the teraflops on a 4090? What's the teraflops on a 4090? $82. So I guess it would be closer to a 4080. Yeah. So how much is a 4080? So they're expecting a £1,000 graphics card to be put into a small console, and it's gonna run. Xbox is 12 teraflops, yeah. And PlayStation is 8.9. So PlayStation is going from 8.9 teraflops to 67 teraflops. So basically, they're going to have a PlayStation Series S and a PlayStation Series X. I thought they were saying that having two versions of consoles with that wide disparity hinders gaming. Didn't they say like because of the Series S it was holding back gaming? So isn't a potential PS5 Pro with these ludicrous specs that people think it's going to have, isn't it technically even worse than what the Series S and Xbox Series X has apparently done? It just sounds weird. It just sounds so weird. Doesn't make any sense. Like, absolute morons. Of course it's noise. Of course it's noise. And people think that this console, or this one, is going to be $500. They think it's not going to be more than $500. Hey, look. Sully, look, we have to disagree here. I'm sorry. We have to disagree. Right? Because if they release a 67 teraflop console, that gives them perfectly justifiable rights to re-release The Last of Us Part 1 Remastered Remake, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered Remake, and any other Uncharted game that they want to remaster and remake, and any other basically Sony game that they want to remaster and remake. But if they do this, It's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Play it now. 8K, 120 FPS only on PS5 Pro with updated visuals and nothing else. But we're still going to charge you $70. They'll remake every Sony game and they'll cost 100. Pro Master Edition, pretty much. He left himself at the bottom and of course take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, of course all of these are going to do that, right? Everyone leaves it with an out. It's like when the Hellblade 2 news came out, right? Every source that I've spoken to has told me that it's in development, but you know, business decisions could change and it might never happen. What the hell is Spectral Super Resolution? Spectral Super Resolution is their new Super Resolution. It's just a fancy name for Super Resolution, which looks absolutely horrible on PC, by the way. I hate it. It looks nasty and it looks ghosty and shadowy and it just looks bleh. Inflation is still pretty high. I don't even think it's super sampling. Super resolution is different to super sampling. Well, spectral means ghost, so I guess you won't be able to see it. 600 is cutting a lot of buyers off. 700 is killing it off, in my opinion. I don't see any less than 699. I mean, this spec here is ludicrous, right? But this one here is still ludicrous. I think this maybe they'll push it to like 18 teraflops or 15 teraflops or, you know, something like that. I mean, at most 20. But I can't even see that. That's a huge jump. That's double the power. Right? The Pro console might sell 1 million copies if it's more than $700, and PlayStation is gonna fold up. It'll be $699.99. But no one's talking about a CPU, right? There's no CPU talk about here. It's all graphics. I mean, if it's going to be like 15 to 20 teraflops, I mean, if they're going to 60 teraflops, they're not putting £1,000 graphics card in there for $500. It's not happening. I can see it closer to what Sappho is saying if they're going to those stupid lengths. Look, tell that to the seal at the animal zoo that starts to flop around. It can do amazing flops. That's because the CPU is going to be the same as the PS5 unlike the console. They're not going to take a loss, no. But yeah, that's crazy. But hey, this has given rise a notion to the mystical top secret showcase that no one can ever find. Now that the full PS5 Pro specs sheet has leaked, I believe we will have a proper Phase 2 showcase this summer. We should take receipts, right, chat? I think the show will feature the biggest games of this generation, including Resident Evil 9, Ghost of Tsushima 2, Sony first-party games, and we might even get a second GTA trailer. Nope, a nope, and a nope. Wait, don't we have a Silent Hill release date already? this will be good. If they announce a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, I'll like it. So Toku said the PS5 is in a state of decline in sales when first party isn't putting out games. So why would Totoki allow PS to put out the Pro? Well, until Sony comes out and officially says that it's not happening, you know, the rumors will always fly about, right? But hey, at least no one's talking about Xbox anymore. I haven't even seen what's his face? Tim talking about Xbox anymore. They've gotten bored. You think so? But there was a massive debate from that CNBC show that happened recently, right? How Sean Layden was saying that Sony built their empire on first party games and not buying studios. And that's a whole lot of bollocks, right? Because they bought their way into the industry. They bought Psygnosis, for God's sake. People often forget that. I mean, Psygnosis at the time owned 40% of the games industry. That's now being rebranded as the Liverpool studio. Because it's depressing talking about Xbox with all the negative news. Dude, we've got cool stuff coming. Like Hellblade 2. They just released like some really cool where is it? If we ever find it. I mean, everyone's been posting these pictures. Was there like a new trailer released or something? Or is it just this one that I usually play on my thing? But there was one that they showed recently. I mean, how much of this is in-game or cinematic is unknown. I'm looking for the one in particular that I saw earlier today. I think it might be this one. No, it's not. It just had a T-posing and it was rotating. But I guess I'm not going to find it. Which is a shame because it was pretty cool and it looked really nice and I wanted to show it to you guys, but I saw it on my phone and I didn't save it because I'm a dumbass. But hey, we just need release dates for games now, right? We just need release dates for games. Because we don't have any. I know we've got, what's its face coming in March. Whatchamacallit? Diablo 4. But yeah, not really a lot. Hey, what's up?
You called me.
Oh, I wanted to show you something. Let me show it to you. Come here. Did you see this? Let me just show my son something real quick. You seen it? Okay, you can go away then. I don't even like you anymore.
Okay.
Be gone. Oh, bring me a drink, please. I like you now.
Okay.
Thank you. I took it back. It was real quick. It only lasted 2 seconds. What am I going to do with that? I've got no cup.
It's literally a bit left.
I'm not going to do that. So you can give me the bowl, and you can go and get me a cup now. Half-assing that shit. Yeah, I can't find it. I feel sad. I can't find it. I can't find it. Can't find it. Chat, I can't find it. Someone sent me... Powerboss, did you send me that link? No, you didn't. You did not send it to me. The betrayal is real. Like, how the hell can it not be here? Oh, well, I give up. But if there's anything you guys want to check out online, now's the perfect time before we, PS5 Pro? What? Ah, Droid. What a loser. Jesus. Updating the Teen Lounge, currently a server room. Honestly, couldn't do what Chaos does with my kid in the house. They're all good kids, honestly. Well, I mean, when I say good kids, I try to keep them as less noisy as possible. There's been new photos released, not video. There was a video that was posted. It was a T-posing video. J-Rock posted it. Let me just have a look on J-Rock's timeline. But, you know, if that is what the game is looking like, it looks really crazily insane. Also, someone told me to check out Vindictus. There was a tweet from them. Does anyone know anything about that? I went looking. I didn't really see anything. Is that not how you spell J-Rock? There you go. Cheers. Ah, here it is. So this was released today. That looks insane, right? That looks absolutely insane. I'm really looking forward to this game, and I really hope they do not screw it up, because the original was so damn good. Actually, I'm going to give it a 4.5. You know what? You might not be too far wrong. I'm just curious to see how they're going to tackle the whole mental health issue, because, you know, that's been a sensitive topic for many on that game. Xbox exclusive Hellblade 2 looks stunning in new photo mode screenshots. Ninja Fury has confirmed Cinemas Hellblade 2 photo mode with new screenshots as we creep closer to Xbox's exclusives release date. Right, so, you know, this was something I wanted to talk about, right? Are we not, like, Xbox isn't getting any games in the first quarter. They're getting some, they've got some third-party games like, you know, Persona 3, which I know a lot of you like, but I think they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. It's been quite dry this first quarter. I think they need to improve their release cadence when it comes to their first party titles. Now, I know games take time to develop, but they've also got, like, what, 35 to 50 studios? Surely something has to be ready, right? We've still got a while before Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2 achievements arrive, but if you're waiting impatiently for the first of the upcoming Xbox exclusives, then you can try to bide your time with the new screenshots. I mean, it looks impressive. Yeah, but what you don't want, Steve, is all of them coming out in such a short amount of window, and then they cannibalize each other, right? You want each game that comes out to have it enough of a window to be able to shine, to be able to, do what it needs to do, whether it's selling Game Pass or selling consoles. You need it to have enough of a room to do that. There are certain games coming you're just not going to release any games around, like Elden Ring Erdtree. That's suicide. So you've already got that window taken away from you. I saw Forspoken on PC Game Pass. Yeah, it's on PC Game Pass, but it is not on console Game Pass. And vice versa, you've got games that are on console Game Pass and not on PC Game Pass. Cesano, you didn't know Crisis Core was on Xbox? Why is a lot of people not aware that Crisis Core is on Xbox? And where did that come? Where did that even come up? Yeah, that 1 per quarter is really good timing. Or maybe, instead of, if they wanted to release more, they could do like 1 every 2 months. That would be good too. Instead of 1 every 3. But it just feels like the longer you leave it, no one's going to release their game around Call of Duty. So that's going to have its own window as well. But it was released day 1. I'll take 1 per day. They weren't putting a lot of their games on Xbox, so failed to ever look for it. Now, I get that. But a lot of people are upset that Crisis Core is there, but the other games aren't on there. And I think we had a discussion in the chat last time. I think it was Sappho who said that they won't buy Crisis Core until the rest of the Final Fantasy franchises, 7 franchises on there, so they get the complete experience. You want them to come out to get the most money and for people to see enough of the game. Yep. But right now, BoldAlphawolf, they are not, because they've missed the first quarter. Battlefield got murdered. Horizon got murdered. What was the other game that got murdered? There was another EA game that came out right next to Battlefield. Was it? It was Titanfall, wasn't it? Or was it something else that they released? Right, it got murdered twice. 16 is going to come. I think at the summer presentation, you're going to see 16. I think you'll see it at the summer presentation. We're going to see 16 there. Now, what will be interesting is if it actually goes straight to Game Pass. That might be interesting. But I don't think it will. There was a game that released side by side with Battlefield, and it basically died instantly. I don't remember what it was, but $50, folks. No one will be interested if it remains above 900p on Xbox. I mean, it drops down to 720p on PlayStation. So 900p Final Fantasy 16 would technically be an improvement over PlayStation, right? PlayStation runs the majority of that game at 720p. And this is the problem that I'm seeing nowadays. Like, why do people want to play games that look absolutely amazing graphically at a resolution of 720p or lower that then get upscaled to 4K? Like, it nasty. So I'm getting Crisis Core as a quiet protest to Sony's money ethic. It's a good game. I don't like the leveling system. I think that's the one with the roulette one, right? If I'm not mistaken, the leveling is a roulette wheel that's constantly spinning. Play it on graphics mode then. I can't on my monitor because my monitor runs at anything at 30 frames per second, and my monitor makes it look like a choppy minefield, like a slideshow. My monitor doesn't handle 30 FPS, so 30 FPS is not an option unless I'm on my TV, and I'm rarely on my TV. If I'm not on my desktop PC playing games through my monitor, I'm either playing through my Chromebook, through streaming, or I'm playing on my Steam Deck. Is it different from... Well, yeah, it's going to be a little different from the original. They rebuilt it, right? Remade it. But that's the thing, Sully. With 16, once it's released on PC, that port from PC to Xbox is very simple. And that's where it becomes good. But folks, I think we're at the end of the stream. I don't think there's much else for me to... I don't think there's anything else for me to cover. Is there anything you want me to check out, like a reaction video or anything like that? Like I always ask at the end of the stream? Because there isn't much else that's going on today. Like I said, yesterday's thing went on for a while. I didn't think today's stream would actually go on as long as it did. I was going to play some games, but it's coming up to like midnight now, so it's getting a little late. But, chat, I haven't forgotten, just so you're aware, you do have a credit of one game that you can choose for me to play. I haven't forgotten, and I'm going to update that super chat with a token number 1, so everyone will know that there's something there. I haven't forgotten. I'm fully aware of it, so I don't want you lot thinking that I'm cheating you in any way, shape, or form. Kazan dropped a new trailer. Ooh. Let's have a look. Fight. Yeah, that's fine. You know what, Sully? I can do that. I can do that because I'm not going to get a PS5 Pro, so you can keep waiting, buddy. E.T., my dude, what is wrong with you? Is this it? That's on the March. What is it with you and Superman 64? Every single time. Can't you suggest a good game? This game doesn't exist, right? Does it exist? Is this the one? 13 hours? Has to be a Souls-like game. It's I don't know. I mean, no frame drops because it's on PC. Lost Odyssey was such a good game, but that would require a lot of time. I'm looking for pick up and play games that I can actually potentially finish. That's like a 60-hour game. Lost Odyssey was so good, man. That ending, though. That ending broke me. That ending broke me, man. What was I gonna check? There was something I wanted to check and I forgot now. There was something I wanted to check. What was it? And I just got distracted and I forgot. No, it's gone. No, it's gone. The Lyrium scene was bad. But, overall the game is just really good. If you haven't played it, it's really cheap on Xbox. I highly recommend you play it. It's really, really good. Oh, come on, man. I literally had it on the tip of my... Hey, look, it got paid $16. Jordan got paid $31. Oh, come on. What was it? I wanted to search for something. No, it's gone. It is like really, 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 really gone. Nope, it's gone. That's how it works, Chaos. Halo Infinite has a new update. Coming March 19th. Networking overhaul. Easy anti-cheat. What, didn't it have any anti-cheat? For real? New squad battle maps, including the incredible Headlong remake. Firefight custom. Weapon tuning updates. Stability improvements. No, I can't remember. And I was kind of hoping if I scrolled I'd see it, but... I can't remember. God damn it. I can't remember. My God, what the hell? Everyone still like Tifa now? Everyone happy with Tifa? You haven't even bought it yet. You want a refund? You want crazy mofo, Arthur? That's a man, baby. Oh man. No, I can't remember. I can't remember. But if there's nothing else, chat, we're gonna call it there. I will update the green bar for next stream, which will be on Tuesday. And yeah, we will do something. I might be around on Sunday. Not sure if I'm going to be streaming, but if you're in my Discord, maybe we can just have like a community night over at Discord and just play some games if you're about. But that's going to be it. So yeah, not sure if I'm going to be streaming on Sunday, but I will be around on Discord so we can just play some multiplayer games, whether it's Halo or Redfall or anything. Just multiplayer so we can just have a bit of fun. Or maybe even some Helldivers too, whatever. Anything that, tickles our fancy. But that is going to be it for me. I hope you've had a good one. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified of all videos that I release. And I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend, folks. Have a good night. Oh, damn. Power Boss just got called Herman. Oh, shit. That's civil war right there. Take it easy, folks. Arthur's gone. He's legged it already. Laters.